We're coming back together as a full group. And notice, I have a new prop now. So what do you think that means? After talking with each other for 10 minutes, guess who gets to talk? Yeah. So here's what I'd like for you to do. I want you to think about the brainstorming session and conversation that you just had with your group. If you had to designate somebody from your group as the spokesperson who'd be willing to come up here and share what you all came up with, let me have you go ahead and look at that process, do that process now. Now, some of you are really funny. You just turn and go. Go ahead and designate. Hopefully you'll have somebody that'll volunteer. Okay? Hopefully. Yeah? Oh. Looks like we got a little tension going on back here. So you know what you could tell them, because if you were the one that was responsible for capturing everything, you know, that was a big responsibility. So you know what? And I like to be able to reward that performance. Why don't you designate somebody from your team to be the spokesperson, just based on the conversations, you know, you designate. So when it's time, that person will join me, because we're going to go systematically down my list here. All right? Because I want to give you an opportunity to talk. And you know what? The best ideas are going to be generated by you. There are some things that we share in common because of the human experience, but nobody knows your work environment better than you. And then hopefully we'll also have a lot of personal things coming out, because it's supposed to be both work and personal, but you all know it way better than I do. You will know what can work, what you might have to tweak and tailor for your particular environment, but the best ideas will come from you. So systematically going down the list in terms of those fueling strategies. What's the first one? Okay, you all are not saying it like you mean it. The body. And for those of you that were in that session, do you remember the motion that went with that? Whoa, yes. Yes. So again, I'm going for that 10%. If you only hold on to 10%, and that's the 10% that you act on, that's a win. I had a couple of people, but I noticed my girl right here. When I said that, she went right here. So with that being said, where's my fuel the body speaker? Let's show some love. Okay. And you all may not have noticed this, but I was able to see. The way we're seated, we can't always see because you're facing forward. When he raised his hand to identify himself, he actually took a deep breath. I noticed he raised his hand and he went. I'm going to assume that was a part of the relaxation strategy, sort of like those two brains we saw side by side.
There's actually, in preparation, to make a confession.
Ooh.
My grandmother's magic bar that I bought over at Starbucks.
Ah.
That's part of my fuel the body.
All right. Well, you know what? I like the way you think. And what's your name?
Matthew.
All right, Matthew. I don't know if this will satisfy, but I've got some nice little dried fruit and nuts in here if you're wanting to fuel up before you speak.
Oh, that's the key word. That's how we started our presentation. We said, how do we think about food? Is it a comfort or is it fuel? And so I'd like to have some of that fuel.
Yes, indeed. You are such a sweetheart. So, Matthew, let me give you a moment to kind of fuel up. Yes, indeedy. So we're going to be using the microphone, and I wanted to just make sure that we get an opportunity to have this session be a big part of talking and sharing. And you know what? The ideas that people come up with, please feel free to take notes and think about, you know what? That's something that I could do. That's something that I want to do. So I'm going to hand that over to you.